Business ethics are a set of principles and values that guide the behavior and decisions of individuals and organizations in the world of commerce. They sit at the intersection of moral philosophy and the practical realities of business, shaping the way companies interact with customers, employees, competitors, and the broader community. Business ethics go beyond the confines of legal compliance to ask not only what is permitted, but what is right. To understand business ethics, consider first the nature of business itself. A business exists to provide goods or services to customers, with the goal of making a profit for its owners or shareholders. But business, like any human activity, doesn't happen in a vacuum. Organizations operate within societies, and therefore, their actions have the potential to affect many stakeholders, both inside and outside the company. From the choices they make about sourcing raw materials, to the way they advertise their products, to how they treat employees, these decisions can have far-reaching social, environmental, and economic impacts. At its core, business ethics is concerned with distinguishing right from wrong and making decisions that are consistent with both the letter and the spirit of ethical standards. This often requires balancing different interests and considering long-term consequences, as well as short-term gains. While laws provide a baseline for acceptable behavior, ethical standards often call for companies to go further, choosing not just what is permitted by law, but what is right, fair, and responsible. There are a number of key areas where business ethics come into play. The first of these is honesty and integrity. Ethical businesses commit to being truthful in their communications, accurate in their financial reporting, and transparent about their operations. When a company presents its products truthfully in advertisements, reports its profits accurately to shareholders, or admits a mistake rather than covering it up, it is demonstrating ethical behavior. Integrity extends to honoring promises, fulfilling contracts, and upholding commitments to customers and partners. A second pillar is fairness. Ethical companies strive to treat all stakeholders, customers, employees, suppliers, and even competitors fairly. This could mean paying employees a living wage, ensuring equal opportunity regardless of race or gender, or providing customers with clear and understandable information about products. Fair competition is another area of concern, as unethical practices in this realm can include price fixing, collusion, or unfairly disadvantaging smaller competitors. A third aspect is respect for stakeholders. Businesses have responsibilities to a wide array of people impacted by their decisions. Employees expect safe workplaces, opportunities for growth, and mutual respect. Customers expect quality, value, and safe products. Even the communities where companies operate have reasonable expectations, such as corporate support for public welfare and responsible use of natural resources. Another key element in business ethics is environmental stewardship. With industries contributing significantly to environmental challenges, ethical companies make efforts to reduce their impact, embrace sustainable practices, and innovate to create products and processes that are better for the planet. This commitment can mean going beyond what is legally required, adopting eco-friendly manufacturing processes, reducing waste, or investing in carbon offset programs. Transparency is also central to ethical business. Openly sharing information about business practices, corporate decision-making, and performance, whether positive or negative, builds trust with the public, investors, and employees. When companies withhold or distort information for the purpose of manipulating markets, hiding problems, or evading responsibility, they damage their reputations and risk legal action. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, has emerged as a practical extension of business ethics. Companies that practice social responsibility seek to contribute positively to society, whether it's through supporting local communities, investing in charitable causes, or adopting ethical supply chain practices. CSR reflects the understanding that business cannot thrive unless the society around it also prospers. But why do business ethics matter? Some might argue that the primary responsibility of business is to maximize profits for shareholders, as famously asserted by economist Milton Friedman. Yet, in today's interconnected and information-driven world, unethical behavior can come at a significant cost. Scandals related to fraud, environmental harm, discrimination, or exploitation can destroy brand reputations, undermine stakeholder trust, and result in legal penalties. On the other hand, companies that are seen as ethical attract loyal customers, engaged employees, and investors willing to support them over the long term. Consider the example of a company that sources cocoa for chocolate production. The business could seek to purchase the lowest-priced cocoa available on the international market. But what if that cocoa has been produced on farms, using child labor, or by exploiting workers? An ethical company identifies the risks, chooses suppliers who follow fair labor practices, and may even pay a premium to ensure that its supply chain meets high ethical standards. While this might increase cost in the short term, it aligns with the company's values and reputation and pays dividends in terms of customer trust and long-term sustainability. The field of business ethics is also shaped by cultural and social norms. What is considered ethical in one country or industry may not be viewed the same way elsewhere. For instance, gift-giving may be seen as acceptable relationship building in some cultures, while in others it could be interpreted as a form of bribery. As international business expands, companies must navigate these differences and develop global codes of conduct that accommodate varying expectations. Business ethics is about more than avoiding negative outcomes. It is also about embracing opportunities to do good. Ethical businesses can drive positive change in society, whether through creating inclusive workplaces, advocating for diversity and equity, supporting communities, or pioneering solutions to global challenges. Companies like Patagonia, the outdoor apparel manufacturer, have built their brand on environmental activism, transparency, and fair treatment of workers, demonstrating that ethics and profitability can go hand in hand. Training and leadership play a critical role in nurturing business ethics. Leaders set the tone from the top, serving as role models for employees and signaling that ethical conduct matters. Many organizations provide codes of ethics, regular training, and systems for reporting unethical conduct or whistleblowing, creating a culture that encourages doing the right thing even when it's difficult. Ethics in business is not always black and white. There are often gray areas where competing values must be weighed. Suppose a company discovers a safety issue with one of its products that has not yet caused harm. Should they issue a costly recall, risking financial loss and negative publicity, or delay action until more concrete evidence emerges? Ethical decision-making requires considering the consequences for all stakeholders, not just the bottom line. Processes such as ethical audits, impact assessments, and consultation with affected parties can help navigate these challenges. Technological change and globalization are bringing new ethical challenges to the fore. As companies collect data on customers, questions arise about privacy, consent, and the responsible use of information. The rise of artificial intelligence has sparked discussions about bias, automation, and accountability. Supply chains that stretch across continents increase the risk of labor abuses or environmental harm in far-flung regions. Here, business ethics demands vigilance, proactive risk management, and an ongoing commitment to improvement. A well-known ethical challenge is the conflict of interest. This occurs when a person's duty to act in one party's interest is at odds with their own personal interest or that of another party. For example, a manager who awards contracts to a company owned by a family member or an employee pursuing outside activities that compete with their employer is facing a conflict. Ethical business practices require declaring and managing such conflicts, ensuring decisions are made without undue influence. Another frequent area of concern is bribery and corruption. These practices undermine fair competition, erode trust in institutions, and contribute to inequality. International frameworks such as the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, in the United States, and the UK Bribery Act establish strict anti-corruption rules for companies operating globally. Ethical companies go beyond compliance, developing robust anti-corruption policies and fostering cultures where bribes and kickbacks are not tolerated. Fair labor practices are another cornerstone. This includes paying decent wages, providing safe working conditions, allowing workers to organize and form unions, and respecting labor rights. Businesses that cut corners by exploiting vulnerable workers, ignoring health and safety, or discriminating unlawfully can face backlash, regulatory penalties, and reputational damage. Consumer protection is central to business ethics. Honest advertising, clear product labeling, safe products, and responsible handling of customer data are all part of ethical business conduct. Deceptive marketing, mislabeling, or endangering consumers for profit erodes the foundation of trust upon which business relationships depend. Follow us at Medium to grow your business.